and welcome to OEFC Outlet. I'm Brian Gordon, admin of Oklahoma Energy Club, and thank you very much for showing up on this wonderful Christmas week. I think everybody's excited, especially the kids, and we're excited to have you guys here. Want to talk a little bit about some things going on in the club and then absolutely share our special guest. So we're going to talk about the Winter Showcase Championship that we had at the beginning of the month. Lots of great things to talk about and say about that. And then some upcoming events that I think everybody's going to want to know about here in the very short future. And then my special guest is our Director of Coaching for the Girls Program, Stephen Phillips. Really excited to have him on. Always a wonderful conversation with Stephen. And then lastly, just wishing everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and hoping everybody's safe. But let's get to it. The showcase, what can I say about this? Number one, got to say thank you to all of our sponsors, and thank you to the showcase and tournament staff. They did an amazing job. I couldn't be happier with the fact that we have now kicked off our very first OEFC tournament and showcase. Something that we've been working towards for many, many years and trying to get it put together, and to see it in reality and to have an event that went as well as we had it was just amazing. So definitely a great thank you to Matt Fancher for heading it and everybody he got to help. And thank you to the teams and the kids. I think everybody had a really good time. We had a really good showing. Good number of teams from other clubs came and participated, and I really saw some great competition, saw some wonderful games. Some teams that you didn't expect to win the whole thing won the whole thing. So we were really, really very pleased and couldn't be more excited about what the next years are going to come. This is going to be a great event for OEFC to come, and I really think that everybody's going to have a great time moving forward, and really proud of everybody for what we've done here. So again, thank you to everybody for putting on such a wonderful event, for participating in such a wonderful event. It was amazing to be out there. Next, OEFC events coming up. A couple of quick events that I want to make sure everybody's aware of. So our elite ECNL girls staff and boys staff are both putting on some training camps here in the next week. So both are happening on the 27th through the 29th. And you get to work with our ECNL staff, and they get an opportunity to see everybody. So make sure you guys go check out our website, check out social media, and sign up for this. This is a great, fun thing to do during the off season. The staff is going to have a great time working with the kids, and I really, really encourage anybody who wants to attend to reach out and attend. It is for pre-ECNL, so it's going to be the younger age groups. So lots of fun out there. I think we've had this last year in the winter and had it again in the spring. Always heard great things about it, so definitely check it out. So let's get all that stuff out of the way. Now let's really get to the meat of the outlet today, and it's our special guest, Stephen Phillips. Stephen is the Director of Coaching for our girls program, and just a great friend, if not just a great leader. So Stephen, welcome to the OEFC Outlet.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so Director of Coaching for the girls program, you're intimately involved with the girls program and all the coaches there. And let's talk a little bit about the girls program and how you put it together. Ranges from U11 all the way to U19. So lots of girls and lots of different skill sets to work around. Talk a little bit about the development focus around the different age groups.
Yeah, well, of course, at the beginning age groups, there's so much change in players' ability. People develop over time. You find that the most important things at that age are developing the basic core skills. And also, of course, making it fun, because too many players drop out at an early age. And we want to make sure that we provide a quality, fun product, which encourages players to stay all the way through their career at OEFC, and then hopefully some of them go on to play college, or they end up going to play professional soccer.
And we've had a lot of kids go to playing professional soccer in college. I mean, Hensley Handcuff just signed with, what team was it that she signed with?
She just signed with New York Gotham.
That's amazing. I mean, and Hensley, we've interviewed her in the past. but she was an integral part of, OEFC or OFC at the time, and came up through the ranks, and is a great steward for our program. So an amazing success story for the women's program and the things that you've been involved in.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely awesome. I mean, you see a kid like Hensley who plays academy at ESC and then goes on all the way through OEFC, goes on to have a great career at Clemson, and now is making her dream come true of playing professional soccer. And, we've had several cases of that on the boys' side also. So I believe we're doing a great job of developing players and putting them in the right showcase events and getting them the opportunity to be seen by top-level coaches.
Let's talk about a little bit about that development. So, given the different age span, obviously development with the younger kids versus the older kids is typically fairly different. Every age has new kids coming in who are new to soccer, just learning how to use their feet, and then obviously kids who have been playing since, they learned to walk. Talk a little bit about how you look at developing some of those younger kids just coming into soccer versus the ones who may have a little bit more skill set, and how you want to challenge those kids.
Yeah, one of the great things about our club is that we have so many teams at so many different levels that we can provide the right fit for each individual player. So with the youngest ones who have basically no overall huge development in their skill level, the big thing for them is to try to create an environment where each practice is fun and challenging, and it improves their technical ability. Now, as they get older, then we start to focus a little bit more on team tactics. And as they get older again, then we try to get them ready for the college process, because we find that a lot of our players end up going to play collegiate soccer. So the big thing, Brian, at that age is making it a technically fun, challenging environment.
Right.
And making it safe. And I feel like with the staff that we have, I believe we have the best coaching staff in the state of Oklahoma. We have the most qualified coaching staff in Oklahoma with regards to licensing. And we have so many people who have played professional soccer, college soccer, and we have a load of college coaches on our staff as well. And I think it's rare to find college staff who are coaching at a high level, coaching 10-year-olds. It might be a 10-year-old. It might be a 10-year-old on a fourth team, but we have that level of coaches, and we provide that for these players. I think it's awesome. And Coach Hampton, yourself, and others have helped bring in great staff over the years.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing when every time I think about it, even with my kids coming up, they got the unlucky fortune of having their dad coach them, not necessarily a college coach, but to think that kids nowadays at 9-year-old, 10-year-olds are getting the same kind of coaching, the same quality of coaching that kids who are 19, 20, 21-year-old kids who's going to college for the purpose of playing soccer are getting. I mean, that's the opportunity there is amazing to me, and the fact that we can offer that, and we're not just offering a dad who's come off the field and maybe played when they were in high school, or
right.
A guy who's doing it just because he loves soccer. I mean, of course, all of our coaches do it because they love soccer, but they're backing it up with the certification, the credentials, and the experience, and that's amazing to me.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I mean, I believe at the club have done a great job of incentivizing our coaches, because we've helped them financially with trying to gain these licenses, because we want as many A-licensed coaches as possible so they can share that wealth of knowledge with players at all levels at OEFC.
Yeah, and that's critical. I mean, for a club program like ourselves to be able to offer coaching education and to be able to give an opportunity for coaches to expand their knowledge and get better, I think that's something that separates our club apart.
Sure.
And the staff we have is just quality. The people, the characters we have, and the people who are working with our kids and installing the character within our kids are stand-up people all the way across. And I couldn't be more proud, as you obviously are, of the quality of staff that we have within OEFC. who are teaching these younger kids how just the game of soccer, but just how to be good people.
Sure.
So let's talk a little bit about the history of OEFC, mainly because you're one of the primary people involved with where OEFC came from. At the very beginning, when it was just a thought, how do we make a great club? You got together with some of the other leaders within ESC and NLKC and put this vision together of what we could do as a competitive club. Talk a little bit about that. Where did all this start?
Yeah, well, I moved here in 1999, and in 2001, I helped with Jason Hawkins and a few other people to form NLKC's first girls program, which was called United FC at that time. And then we kept on battling against a club called ESC. And they were our big rivals. Coach Hampton was a rival of myself, Coach Sosby, all those great legends of the game. We used to fight each other every single week. But the problem was this: we don't have enough depth in order to challenge at a regional and national level when we're split and divided. So Coach Kunitz, Coach Spancher, Coach Hampton, to just name a few, came up with this idea of us putting our egos aside, bringing in the best coaches with the best facilities in order to get our name as a state out there up against all the other states and regions and prove what we could do. And we decided to come up with this name of Oklahoma Football Club so that it would be everybody's football club and not just specific to one area. And so we came up with this idea, we met, and we were able to put egos to the side. And from there, OEFC became a very, very big, powerful club in the state of Oklahoma. And we've gone on to prove that we, as Okies, can compete against anybody. You know?
Well, and real quick, I wanted, if anybody remembers the OEFC logo, the crown and the O, talk a little bit about that, because I think there's a funny story in that, because you obviously had a lot of influence on how that logo looked.
Well, I'm a little bit biased in in my background, and so the idea was to use a badge that would kind of give a little bit of background history to where I come from, which is Wales, you know?
Right. And so Crown comes around, guys put together, and we really did become a powerhouse, which was just amazing to be part of. I think there are a number of years where if you looked at all of the age groups, we won state championship or President's Cup in almost every age group, which was a lot of fun to socialize, because not often do you see one club just win every age group championship. And those are some unique years for us. And then I believe it was 2017, we were approached by the Energy Pro team, and who wanted to look at how to get involved in the youth game and how to get start a youth program. And you were involved in that discussion as well.
Yeah, obviously, we had not had a professional club in the state of Oklahoma for a long time, and then two clubs came out, one being Rio, which is no longer alive, and then Oklahoma Energy. And we met with the leaders of the Energy, and the idea was to create a pathway for young players to make it. And so we decided to partner up and use our strengths together to help us try to get into elite platforms. At that moment in time, we could not get ourselves into the ECNL platform, which is one of the biggest platforms in the US. And so we used the Oklahoma Energy to try to help us get into what was called the Developmental Academy. But unfortunately, it disappeared. And then we had to move on. And fortunately, at this moment in time, then we're now into the ECNL platform for the boys and the girls.
And the girls are doing really, really well there. We've had a lot of success, even in between the DA with the Girls Academy, had one team achieve national championship status. But talk a little bit about the ECNL now, because you're obviously a coach within the ECNL teams. Talk about how that's going, the successes that we're seeing.
Sure. So the ECNL is the Elite Clubs National League, and Oklahoma plays in that North Texas conference. And so the Texas conference is basically from Dallas all the way down to Houston, San Antonio, Austin. It's probably the number one or number two conference in the whole of the US. So every single week, it's like playing in Premier League in England. You could show up and you could get hammered, and you can show up and win a game. You just don't know, because the depth that they have down there is very, very deep, And so we've done very, very well. We're new to it. Our boys have done a great job. Our girls currently are overall sitting in 5th as a club out of 12, which might shock a lot of people, because when we show up, I don't think most of the time we get that much respect from Texas people. I think they feel like they're going to just walk all over these little Okies from Oklahoma City, Edmond, etc. And so now the girls have done a great job. Mark and Gareth on the ECNL platform as directors, they've done a great job in helping bring in players and build it. And at this moment in time, we get to compete every single week against the creme de la creme of players, and it makes our plays better, because we don't get better by beating people 10-0 every week. That doesn't challenge us.
Right.
Doesn't make us better. And for us, I would rather play a game and lose by 2 goals than beat somebody by 12 goals, because overall, whilst it might be fun to score 12 goals every now and then, it doesn't really help our development, and it doesn't prepare us for higher level soccer in the future.
I think you're exactly right. And I think some of the success and the development that we're seeing in those girls is translating over to college acceptance. I think the vast majority of our older teams, of the starting teams, are going to college to play in soccer, correct?
Yeah, it's pretty much the norm that players from OEFC end up going on to play collegiate soccer somewhere. And in the girls' game, it's a little bit easier because of Title IX. There's more scholarships available, more opportunities available. It's tougher in the boys' game. But, over the past few years, we've had, over 40 players go on to play college soccer at the D1, D2, D3 JUCO levels, NAIA levels. And so I feel like we provide that opportunity for players every year. I believe that we are probably the best club at doing that.
I think you're right. The proof is in the pudding when it comes to just seeing the kids who are signing with different colleges. So I think that's amazing. I want to shift real quick, because I've done this with everybody. I think it's important for people to see. So you're from Wales.
Yep.
As you said, I forget what year you said you came over to the United States, but talk a little bit about your upbringing. Talk a little bit about how soccer played into your youth, and then how it brought you over to the United States.
Sure. Well, so I'm from a place called Swansea in Wales. Wales is not the biggest place in the world. It's smaller than Oklahoma in geographical landscape, and it's about the same population. So it's 3.5 million people. So I played soccer over there as a child, and then went from a professional club to a college. And after college, I was offered the opportunity to come to America and to run some soccer camps. So initially I was offered summer jobs, and I would come over, get away from the rain, make a little bit of money. And so I kept doing that for a few years prior to 1999. And in 1999, I came over and I moved to Kansas.
Okay.
So I was in Overland Park, Kansas. And then from there, I moved to Oklahoma City. And I lived direct across the road from NOKC, across from the police station. That was my first apartment. And from there, I was tasked with trying to create soccer camps. And at that moment in time, there wasn't too much high-level soccer. There was Coach Harvey and a few
Brian
others.
Harvey.
Yeah, Brian Harvey. But at that moment in time, there was not the depth of quality of coaches that we have today in 21. And so in 2001, then, I ended up forming a team, as I mentioned earlier on, and the rest is history, Brian,
That's really cool. So I'm glad we stole you away from Overland Park, because Overland Park, as everybody knows, is a pretty big soccer area as well. So think we were lucky to snag you there, and then probably even luckier that you found an apartment across from NOKC rather than on the south side of town or somewhere else. So, it all kind of fell into place.
Well, the great thing at that moment in time was I didn't even have a car, Brian. So I would walk across the road to NOKC. And then the weird part about my job at that moment in time is I actually worked for 3 clubs. So I eventually got a car. I worked for NOKC, which was Padova on the boys' side.
Right.
Which no longer exists, of course. I worked for Celtic in Norman.
There you go.
And I worked for Edmund Soccer Club, all at the same time.
I'm not sure that would be allowed nowadays.
No, that would be frowned upon these days.
Wow, that's pretty cool. You've been an integral part almost in every aspect of OEFC, OFC before that, and you're an integral part of NOKC and the successes that NOKC has seen. So, I mean, that's you're leaving your legacy, that is for sure. Last thing I wanted to do is, again, I mentioned it earlier, but I want to give you an opportunity to make the plug. So you have a pre-ECNL camp coming up next week. Talk a little bit about the camp, for somebody who may have not been to the camp or not be aware of what it's about. Talk a little bit about, the objective of the camp and what you're looking for.
Yeah, so the camp is for age groups 2012, 2011, and 2010s. Next year, 2010s are going to be ECNL age. And so the aims of the camp is, number one, of course, get kids exercising after Christmas. Most of them are going to be on a break and they're going to be bored. Christmas will be over for most. But what we're aiming to do is try to train and develop players and identify those players that not only have the skill set, but the mindset to play at an ECNL, ECRL level, because that requires a lot more focus, a lot more attention, a lot more training to play at that level. For example, the ECNL teams all train 3 days a week.
Right.
The majority of kids are only used to training twice a week with their club teams. And so what we have to work out is what players eventually are going to have the abilities to play at that level. We know that players will change though, Brian. I mean, at this age, players change so much.
They're growing.
They're growing, they're changing. You might find a kid who's on a 3rd or 4th team that a year later is on a 1st team. It's dramatic growth at these age groups, and we do make mistakes. Sometimes we identify the wrong players at an early age group. We rectify that though, so we try to change it if we believe we're wrong, and we'll see how kids develop. It's a marathon, not a sprint, Brian. And so what we tend to work out is that when they get older, 16, 17, 18, pretty much you know where kids are going to be. 10, 11, 12, 13, there's massive growth, massive changes. Yeah. It's a huge development age group, and you have to make sure at those age groups that we build a great foundation and that we build a big player pool, because we know players are going to quit soccer at some point. They're going to take up other sports, And so the aim of the camp overall is to make a great experience where the kids can meet next year's ECNL staff, have fun, and try to get better. And the great thing is it's indoors. So it's not going to be cold. It's not going to be windy.
Well, but it's going to be 75 degrees in 3 days. Wow. So who knows about this year?
Only in Oklahoma, Brian. That's one thing I've learned over the years. Have sunscreen in the car, have an umbrella, have a ski jacket. You need everything in your car.
I believe it. So, well, guys, definitely go out and check out the information on the camp. I think even if you're new to soccer, just to see what some really quality training is going to look like and learn a little bit about soccer, just have fun. Coach Phillips had said that. Then definitely go in and sign up for that. Did want to leave on one last thing, so I warned you I was going to do this, Coach. But so, given the holiday season, I have a special gift for you and the club. And so I want everybody to kind of close their eyes and think there's a roaring fire next to you and a nice big Christmas tree like behind Coach Phillips. And there's a nice little Christmas poem that we prepared for you. So sit back and enjoy this. All right. So 'twas the night before Christmas went all through the pitch. Not a creature was stirring, not even Coach Crick. Even the pennies were hung by the goalpost with care, in hopes that Coach Phillips would soon be there. The players were all nestled, all snug on the bench, while visions of bicycle kicks danced in their head. And some in their jerseys and some in their cleats, the players all knew tonight would be something neat. When out on the field there rose such a clatter, I sprang from the clubhouse to see what was the matter. The lights on the field, like the new fallen snow, gave a luster of midday to the objects below. When what to my wondering eye should appear but a gaggle of coaches, all in green energy gear. With an accent from Wales, one coach did resound, I knew in a moment that Coach Phillips was on the ground. More rapid than eagles, his staff in they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. On Evans, on Burley, on Peeler and Crick, now Fancher, now Langford, now Moritz, be quick. On Borum, on Hubbard, we've points to bring home. On Riley, on Amell, every coach get it done. To the top of the standings and to the top of the league, now dash away, make the kids believe. So out on the fields, the coaches they flew, with bags full of soccer balls and a whistle or two. And then in an instant, I heard on the field, the coaching and instruction, it was a big deal. To the center came Phillips, in a leap and a bound. You could hear his Welsh accent through all of the sound. He was dressed in all black, with an accent of green. His cleats were Liverpool red, the reddest I've seen. A ball bag and targets were flung on his back, and he looked like St. Nick just opening his pack. A stump of a pencil he held tight in his teeth, and a clipboard with magnets just underneath. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon let me know that we had nothing to dread. Each player got direction and got some advice. Pass it here, touch it there, use your left is quite nice. And then bringing his whistle up to his mouth, Phillips ended the instruction and turned all about. He collected his things and to his coaches gave a whistle, and they all came together with the speed of a missile. And I heard him exclaim as they turned to part ways, Merry Christmas to all, and a great job on this day. So, Coach Phillips, I'll frame this and send this to you.
That's awesome.
I wanted to say thank you to you for everything you do for the club. Thank you to your coaching staff and the leadership you give, and most importantly, thank you to our members and to your teams and to your players. Everybody is just amazingly awesome, and I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and God bless. Let's have a good 2022.
Thank you very much, Brian. I appreciate it. I have a face for the radio, so I appreciate you bringing me out today. I want to wish everybody in the club a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and hopefully we have a better 2022. COVID gets away from us and we can stay healthy. We can keep growing this program, keep growing our club, and hopefully provide the best soccer program in the state of Oklahoma.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you very much. All right, guys, I did also want to just specifically shout out to our club members, all the parents, all the volunteers, all the players, more importantly, a Merry Christmas from OEFC. Shout out to our marketing group who helps us put together all sorts of wonderful things that you guys see. So absolutely thank you to everybody, and for, do a little bit of a fun thing. So I know that we've got a couple of viewers online. If you'll jump into chat and wish the club a Merry Christmas, I'll give the first 4 people who do that a $50 gift card or gift certificate to Dick's, so you can go get that last minute Christmas gift. So hopefully people are actually listening and participating. We'll see. And then lastly, thank you to our sponsors, Provision Concepts, OSO, Squirtle, Mercy, and then we have some new sponsors, Chad Hempel Construction, who you saw around the tournament, and then U.S. Fleet Tracking. So great job. Thank you so much. Your support is amazing, and we greatly appreciate everybody, and especially these sponsors. Guys, have an amazing Christmas. Have a great time, and have a wonderful New Year, safe New Year, and we will absolutely see you in 2022. Thank you guys for everything you do, and we'll see you on the pitch.